Okay guys, so here we are again looking at our 60-gallon hot water tank. Now this is a demo tank that I sort of have done up for these videos, so I hope like everyone will understand that I've got a regular 60-gallon element put in here in the top, this guy right here, and down at the bottom I put in a 40-gallon element. So in a 40-gallon, the element is usually 3,000 watts. In the 60-gallon, the element is 4,500 watts. But the reason why I set the tank up like this for this video is to show you the difference in the ohm reading between a 40-gallon and a 60-gallon. So the purpose of this video is we're going to test this element, and we're going to test this bottom element. So that's the upper element and the bottom element to see if they're good. So what we're using is a regular digital ohm meter. As you can see, I have it set on the ohm setting right here. I have my meter leads plugged in to measure ohms. And right now you can see I have a short circuit. I'm sorry, an open circuit, sorry. I apologize. Meter leads are here. So I'll just touch them together for a second, and we'll just check our meter to make sure it's reading correctly. And you can see we have 0 ohms. Open. I have OL, which means nothing, overload. When I touch them together, I create a short, which shows me 0 ohms. So that way I know my meter's working properly. So what we'll do is we'll go up here, we'll test the top element first. Now the top element is a 4,500 watt element that belongs in a 60-gallon tank. So if you're testing a 60-gallon element, the reading you should get should be roughly 15.6 ohms. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a glare there. Or 15.5 ohms roughly. So you put your 2 meter leads on your element, power shut off, wires disconnected so it's not in the circuit, and you test your element. And you should get a reading of about 15.4, 15.5. That's a 4,500 watt element, and that belongs in a 60-gallon tank. To test the 40-gallon element, I've got to put in the bottom of this tank. So we'll just put our meter leads on the 40-gallon element. It's a 3,000 watt element, 3,000 watt, and you should get a reading of 19.6 ohms. So we know that this element is good because it's 3,000 watt, usually belongs in a 40-gallon tank, and we've got a reading of 19.7 ohms. So that element there is testing good. I'll just review again. Top element is from a 60-gallon tank. It's 4,500 watts in power. I don't know if you can make the label on it there, but it'll give us a reading of 15.8 ohms. So if you're dealing with a 60-gallon tank, 15.8, 15.9 ohms. If you're dealing or testing the element in a 40-gallon tank, put your meter leads across the element, and you should be reading 19 to 20 ohms, somewhere in that area. So again, that element is good, our top element is good. So I'll show you how to test the thermostats in the next video. Thanks.